Hi there. So today I'm back with new concepts for you. Today we're going to talk about vocabulary, grammar, as well as pronunciation. I don't want you to go through a lot of videos. You are going to find everything in this presentation of mine. So you can watch the video, like, subscribe, and comment. Let's start with the presentation now. So we're going to talk about improved vocabulary, some grammar tips, and also correct pronunciation. Okay, let's understand what is basic vocabulary and what is enhanced vocabulary. It's always good to use enhanced vocabulary. For example, try not to use the word good. In fact, you can use words such as marvelous or excellent or superb. So as you can see here, this is basic English versus advanced English. Such as, you don't have to say I'm scared. Instead, you can say I'm terrified. Instead of I'm angry, you can say I'm furious. It's boring. Now, boring is such a common word. Instead of that, you can say it is monotonous. It's funny. Funny is also quite a common word. Try not to use that. You can say it is hilarious instead. I am confused. Confused is also used quite commonly. Instead, you can say I'm perplexed. Instead of saying it's important, you can say it is essential. I'm anxious is more appropriate than I am nervous. Now, you don't have to say the word clean because it's quite common. Instead of that, you can say it's spotless. Even if you say it's dirty, rather than saying that, you can say it's filthy. Instead of saying I'm cold, you can say I'm freezing. It's chilly out there. So you can see how beautiful this enhanced vocabulary sounds to you. So instead of saying the bored, monotonous, and the same words every time, try to use enhanced vocabulary in your daily conversations. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, these are some pronunciation tips. As you can see, the words which people always pronounce wrong. We cannot say depth because the B is supposed to be silent. So we can pronounce the word such as debt. Doubt. In this word as well, the B is supposed to be silent. Knee, knock. In these words, the K is silent. So we don't say the pronunciation of K. Rather, we just say knee and knock. Another word is psychology. The P is supposed to be written in the spelling, but we don't actually pronounce the word. Instead, we say psychology. The P is a silent one. We don't say R. In fact, the correct pronunciation is supposed to be our. The next word is island. We never say island because the S is supposed to be silent. That's why we pronounce that as island. Not island, but island. Another word is receipt. We don't say receipt because the P again is supposed to be a silent one. So that's why we pronounce the word as receipt. The next word is gnome. The G is supposed to be a silent one again. So we pronounce the word such as gnome. But yes, G is supposed to be written in the spelling. The last word is ballet. We don't say ballet. Instead, the correct pronunciation is ballet because the T is again supposed to be a silent one. I hope you love this pronunciation. I'll be there in my next video again with more pronunciation tips for you. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, try to have some enhanced phrases or sentences. Now, let me know, it's quite a common phrase which people use. Instead, you have these 6 other phrases which you can say. Those are: keep me informed, keep me posted, keep me updated, keep me in the loop, notify me, and also give me a heads up. So you can see how let me know can be said or can be, said in this new vocabulary and new phrases. The meaning is supposed to be the same, but the words and the vocabulary change. Now let's move on ahead with the next slide. Here we are again. Now, very is quite a common word. People don't like that actually. And if you're a student, your teacher would not like the word very. Instead of using very every time, try to replace very with another word. Such as, instead of saying very big, now big is again a very common word. Quite a common word, in fact. So you can say enormous. Just throw out the very and you can just use the word enormous. You can even say gigantic or massive. So these are words which replace the word very big. Instead of saying very beautiful, you can simply say gorgeous. Another word is very smart. Try not to use very smart because that's quite common as well. You can say brilliant. Now, very hot. My tea is very hot. Instead of saying very hot, you can use the word scorching. Next word is very fast. Again, quite common and commonly used. You can say swift. Very sad. Now, sad and good and bad, these words are quite common as well. You can use the word heartbroken instead of very sad. Very strong. Try not to use very strong. You can say powerful. Very weak can be replaced by just one word, and that is frail. Very pretty can be substituted by a better word such as stunning. So you can see how the word very can be replaced with so much of different vocabulary. Now let's move on to the next slide. Okay, this is something which I want to tell you about. These are idioms. Quite interesting, in fact. You can use them in your spoken as well as your written forms. Let's understand what are idioms and how we're going to use them. It makes the reader feel that you know a lot about the language, and also the people you're talking to would also feel the same way that you are, quite proficient in your spoken skills, in your language skills, etc. A saying that means something which is different than what it says. That means a saying which has 2 meanings. One is supposed to be the figurative meaning, and one is supposed to be the literal meaning. The literal meaning is what you read and understand, and the figurative meaning is the actual meaning. Now let's look at the example which has been given here. It's raining cats and dogs. Now what do we understand after reading this? It's raining cats and dogs. It means as if a person who would not know might just think that cats and dogs are falling down from the sky. But the actual meaning is it's raining heavily. So you can see the figurative meaning, it's raining hard or it's raining heavily. And that is the actual meaning. But the literal meaning which you read and understand is cats and the dogs are falling down from the sky, which is supposed to be the wrong meaning. So you can see these are idioms which have a figurative meaning, which are the correct meanings. Try to use idioms in your daily spoken language, and that would really enhance your language a lot. Now, I want to show you an example, a conversation between two friends. Let's move on to the next slide. How are we going to use idioms in a daily conversation? So here we are. Idioms in action. An interesting conversation between friends. Two friends, Sally and Travis, are catching up after work. So let's understand how they make use of the idioms. Sally: Hey Travis, you look a bit under the weather today. Are you all right? Travis: Yes, I have been burning the midnight oil lately, trying to meet deadlines at work. Sally: Oh no, you need to take a break. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, you know. Travis: True, but my employer keeps mentioning the early bird catches the worm. So I have been trying to stay ahead of the game. Sally: Well, don't bite off more than you can chew. You don't want to get sick, do you? Travis: You are absolutely right. I guess I should just play it by ear this weekend and see how things move on. So you can see how this conversation between two friends is full of idioms. And if you see, this enhances your language. It also sounds interesting to you. Am I right? So let's understand what these idioms are about. In the next slide, you will understand the meanings of the idioms which have been used here, such as under the weather, burning the midnight oil, the early bird catches the worm, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, don't bite off more than you can chew. And lastly, the idiom, just play it by ear. So you can see how these idioms have been used. Let's understand the meaning of these idioms one by one. The explanation of the idioms. Burning the midnight oil. It means working late into the night. The explanation is, this idiom originates from the time when oil lamps were used for light. It implies staying up late to complete work or study. Now, this was the time when people used to have oil lamps instead of the bulbs or the electric lights. And that is the time when people used to stay awake or study or work. Even now, when people stay awake or, for study or for work, that is the time when you use this idiom. The next one is supposed to be, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Meaning, without time off from work, a person becomes boring or tired. You can't keep on working the entire time. You need to have some time for yourself. The explanation of this proverb stresses the importance of balancing work with leisure for a healthy and enjoyable life. So here we are. You have to maintain a balance between work as well as play and enjoyment. The next one is supposed to be, the early bird catches the worm. The meaning of this idiom is, those who act early have an advantage or are more likely to succeed. So you need to act on time. Explanation: this idiom encourages promptness and proactivity. The next one is, don't bite off more than you can chew. The meaning is, don't take on more responsibilities which you can't fulfill and you can't handle. So don't take on more responsibilities than you can handle. Explanation: it suggests being realistic about your capabilities and to avoid being overwhelmed. So you know your capabilities the best. Try not to overburden yourself. Play it by ear. The meaning of this idiom is to act without a plan. That means you just go with the flow, to see how things go and react accordingly. The explanation is often used when someone prefers to be flexible and goes ahead without a plan, goes ahead, moves on ahead, rather than making a fixed plan. So you can see how the idioms really enhance the language and make it more interesting. Let's move on to the next slide here. So here we are. I have a task for you. Try to explore about more idioms, make a sentence with any of the idioms, and put it in the comment box. I'll be waiting eagerly for your responses. I'll give you a few more examples, such as you can say a bad apple. A bad apple means the literal meaning, which is the wrong meaning. It means an apple which has gone rotten or stale or bad. But the actual meaning, the figurative meaning, is supposed to be bad influence, a bad company, a person who's a bad company for others. Now, if I say a piece of cake, doesn't mean that I'm telling you to get a piece of cake for myself. It means easy. That means a piece of cake means the task is quite easy, like a piece of cake. So, easy is the actual meaning, and the piece of cake is the literal meaning. Another example would be break a leg. If I say break a leg, doesn't mean that you have to go and break someone's leg. But the figurative meaning is good luck. Though the literal meaning is what it seems, that you have to go and break someone's leg. But that's the literal meaning, which is the wrong meaning. So when you read the idioms, they might sound quite different to you. They do not mean what they sound or what you read. In fact, there's an actual meaning, there's a hidden meaning, there's a figurative meaning for the idioms. So if you use them, it will definitely enhance and improve your language. So I'll be there again with more and more concepts, with more and more pronunciation tips. I hope to see you very soon the next time. Till then, you can keep revising all your work. And save this presentation somewhere so that you have everything with you. Grammar, pronunciation, as well as the vocabulary, the new vocabulary which I have told you about. Try using them. Don't just watch the video and keep it aside. Try using the words which I have shown you. Use them in your written and spoken forms so that you can enhance your language in a better way. See you then next time, and if you want me to make a presentation for any concept which you want, you can let me know. I'll be waiting for your comments, and I'll be waiting for your suggestions as well. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Take care.